All right, it's a little loud over there. Time for day 6 reflections. I'm gonna stand down here
There we go.
so that Megan fits in frame.
Now I can see myself.
All right, yes, this worked out perfectly. So we are in the streets. We'll get as to like what we're doing here.
We're in the streets.
In a minute. We're in the streets. Like we're literally in the streets. All right, day 6 reflections, final day on the ground before we take off. It was day 2 of the peak training. What were your wrap-up thoughts of that?
I was just really impressed with how appreciative everyone was of the course.
Yeah?
The desire to learn and how much they just love the science of behavior analysis was just amazing.
Yes.
And there was a community developed, so they already have a Facebook page. They're really excited to get Peak going, and I'm thrilled to see how much they want to do for their clients.
Yes. So what was cool that I noticed is there was discussions going on while you were talking with the people that knew English and Portuguese. They were kind of already thinking in like where you're going to go next or applying things. Like there was a couple of them that I talked to afterwards where you could tell that's what I used to do when I was in my master's program, but I get in trouble for it, or I do it like writing on a computer to another friend in class so that I wasn't disrupting class.
Right.
So it's really cool to just see people so eager and going for it. What was after that? So Peak wrapped up. We did a little bit of like filming, capturing some perspectives for people that just wanted to talk about it a little bit more. I'm handing that off to the crew. They're over here hanging out. So we're giving that off to them, and then it was kind of like disconnect for a minute.
30 minutes.
Reset, like what was going on, and get ready to see some last minute sights. So these trips are fun. They're a blast. They're a lot of work.
Yep.
A lot of transportation and moving around. Not a lot of sleep usually. I did pretty good on this trip though. And so we try to squeeze in the sights and seeing the culture and those sort of things. Tonight was a lucky one where we had we stopped first at a giant
Castle.
millionaire's castle.
Yeah.
Unclear.
Has a lot of stuff.
Unclear if he's alive still or not.
He's still alive. Remember we saw that picture? I'm
That's
pretty
got to
sure
be
that
him.
was him.
Okay. I'll drop a couple quick clips of crazy stuff in there. It's nuts what was in there,
Yeah.
including a diamond sword.
From Egypt.
From
the
Egypt.
King Farouk.
King Farouk, 1940s, I think. 1400s, maybe.
Like
Okay.
a long time ago.
Okay. Unclear. This is why I have memories and videos, so I get my dates right. So we did that, and then it was sunset, so we finished up at sunset, and we took off to here in downtown Recife.
Yes.
So walked around a little bit, got to see some more of the culture. What are your
Best
thoughts?
thing ever.
Yeah.
Loved it. Walking, and all of a sudden there's just like groups of people playing music in the street, but we happened upon a craft beer festival type thing, which
There was
craft beer is like my favorite.
There's 5 booths.
It's the most craft beer I've seen the whole time.
It is. It's hard to find those. So yeah,
And there was a DJ playing some of my favorite music.
He was doing pretty good. He had some ups and downs, but he was overall up. He was doing pretty good.
We got to see more of the local crowd there.
Yeah, so Sundays were really interesting. What happens on Sundays is everybody comes out and they do things like this. They hang out and they play music. I think Carlos was calling it like the local coconut circle.
Yeah, he said something about coconut.
Okay.
Coconut place or something.
Yeah. But just imagine, I'll end it on some of the drums that were going on in the streets. And there's people just walking around playing drums.
I was a little disappointed. I thought we were going to see like a drum battle at one point.
Yeah,
but that
2 of them
didn't happen.
came together. The culture is amazing. The people are awesome.
Everybody's just so loving and kind.
Yes. It's been fantastic despite the social issues and the kind of worries.
Yeah, if I didn't read the news, I'd have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, wait, I don't read the news. So I don't really know except for what you've told me.
Yeah. Well, I'd say, definitely we don't get the full perspective of the social issues here by being with a bunch of locals and running around and doing work the whole time. We were describing the differences between like walking around on the streets here versus in our hometowns. Things like getting robbed are very frequently
What about
experienced here.
dude you met?
Oh yeah, hold on, we'll get to that. But the getting robbed, I described like a couple times I had my car broken into or my house, and it was like 100, 200 bucks max in those situations. And they chuckle in a way because it's completely opposite here. If you're out late at night, you can run into big problems and such. So anyhow, we'll try to do those a little bit more justice in the full videos. The one thing that was interesting is there was a guy who's been walking around quite a bit here. And he came up, was speaking to me in Portuguese, and I don't know how to necessarily speak any of that. At least the words that he was saying to me. Yeah, I know a few words now, but not enough. And who was it that said it? Veronica said that we are Americans. And the first thing that he did, hold this for a sec, as he was like, Americanos. That was the first thing that he did. The very first thing he did. And then he went on to talk about the World Trade Center. I could read all this through the way he was gesturing. September 11th, yeah. And they were helping me translate in the moment quite a bit. So it's always interesting to see what perspectives people have of Americans.
Yeah. We've also been ruining Veronica's perspective of America.
Yeah. Yeah. We're more critical, skeptical of our country being the greatest ever, end all be all. I was sharing some perspectives of freedom, and we talked about that for about an hour, I'd say, while you were translating with the other folks. We said we're the land of free. We can get into the behavior analysis of freedom and all that sort of stuff. But what was interesting is you can have countries that have free healthcare, free access to certain things, and we don't have that. So the question is, how free are we really? So it's some fun discussion. I think that is the gist of day 6.
Yeah, I'm sad to leave.
Yes, same. I'm ready to go home and like just be home for a little bit though. It's been a crazy like Florida to Columbus to Reno to here.
Can we just talk for 1 second about the dogs?
Oh, like the homeless or the stray dogs?
But they wouldn't eat my cheese.
I don't know why.
How are they picky about cheese?
I mean, there's got to be an abundance of food of some sort.
I guess.
They're not like skin and bones, but there's a lot of them here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them
They're
here.
pretty cute.
I've seen way more stray dogs than I have non-stray dogs.
Yeah, we've seen like 2 non-stray dogs.
Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah, there's a whole different world down here. We'll leave you with that. Here's this guy. Looks like maybe someone had water out for him at one point. We'll say bye to our folks here real quick. Veronica helped communicate and translate like crazy. Thank you so much. Daniela helps with everything on the ground. And Carlos, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.